Scott from Wheelstick Outdoors. We're down the shop. I'm going on a long trip coming up, long hiking trip. I want a backup stove. I've been doing some research on the internet. Two kinds of DIY stoves that I really like. One was the Fancy Feast with the cat food and the tomato paste, but you require some of that carbon felt. Well, there's just none of that around here. So second was the aluminum bottle. Now, this aluminum bottle, it's just a standard. You can get them at Value Village or Walmart or garage sales, but because it's a thicker base, it's more bomb proof. Like it literally has, I've made some out of tin cans and they're great, but they're very flimsy, super light, but there's a trade-off. So this should be in around the two ounce mark once it's done. So basically what you want to do is make a measurement at least a ½ inch beyond the curve. I'll show you that. Okay. So you want to be at least a ½ inch beyond that curve. You want a little bit of curve or flatness when we cut this piece and this piece and reverse and flip it and drive it inside. You're going to want some of this flat space, and you want to use the ones with the nice curve because the actual the gases will be coming through here, vaporizing, and then coming out of our jets up here. Just a brief on how it works. There's ports drilled all the way around. Inside the curve, you pour fuel in the middle and light it. It heats up. The fuel will transfer underneath in the tiny holes, create a hot gas which becomes pressurized because of the heat, and it's forced out those holes. And those holes will light and ignite the flame because they are already hot and superheated. So that's the basis of how this would work. So I found something that I could use for drawing a ledge. It's giving me about 3/4 inch from the end of the curve, which is fine. That's plenty. A little less, you might not get a good seat, and a little bit too much, then you're just increasing the length. So I'm going to use that measurement there, and I'm going to draw a line all the way around. Little box screws that I happen to have that just is the right size. And then just spin the bottle around, making that mark nice and clean. And there you have one perfect. The lighting is terrible on that side. Okay, before you drill any of these holes and mark them, you have to know that those holes, when this is seated, have to be above or basically below that curve. So now I need to find out exactly where that curve starts with a measurement, and then measure down from that line, and that's where I'll draw and start marking my holes. Okay, so again, it has to be, when this is upside down, the gas jets have to be below that line. Otherwise, the gas won't come up in through here because this is going to be pressed tight against the wall of the bottom side. So let's figure that out now. Okay, I moved those marks up. Measure twice, cut once, right? Okay, so let's drill that out. So if this is aluminum, it's the hardest aluminum I've ever drilled in my life. So the bad news is, this wasn't an aluminum can, it's stainless. So drilling the holes was not easy. You can see they've been all over the place. I broke 2 drill bits, one right there. Second, this didn't press in there very nicely. I had to put a piece of wood over it and beat it, but I did get it in. It looks to me like it's right at the bottom quite nicely, and you can see those little holes that I filed. So the liquid should pour into here, filter through here, and after it warms up, the gas will start escaping from here and the flames will come over the side. So I can take some of this top off, grind that down a little bit, and make it a little more a little more nicer. So I'll do that right now, but I ain't gonna do it with a file. It's stainless. I'm gonna go out on the grinder. Running in an effort to try some different fuels. So this is still a little bit hot. So yesterday I tried, what did I put in there? Oh, some naphtha, and of course it smoldered it all sooty and stuff. So this morning I'm gonna try some Gasline antifreeze. What's going on with my glasses? My face looks completely good. So I'm gonna try some Gasline antifreeze. I'm pretty sure that's mostly methyl hydrate. There's some additives, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna put this on, I'm gonna get it primed. I'm gonna measure exactly how much fuel I put in there using some syringes. And then I'll be able to tell a burn time. And I'm gonna put on a pot of water, which has exactly 1 measured cup in it. And then we'll set a timer on that as well and to see what we get out of this alcohol stove. Stay tuned. So I put 20 mils in there, measured exactly. And so just have to wait for it to prime now. And because it's stainless steel, it's going to take a little bit longer to prime. So I wonder if that's one of the concerns online. So if you guys want in the comments, let me know, is the stainless steel bad because it's harder to work with, or is it because it takes longer to prime? Hey guys, yeah, if you can let me know in the comments, like, is it the stainless steel because it's not widely used because it's hard to work on or work with, or is it because it takes so long to prime? Like, it's a heavier metal and it takes longer for it to start boiling the fuel. Anyway, let's leave a comment below. I'd like to know if you know why this stainless isn't as widely used as the aluminum. Should start seeing some gas jets. There we go. They're starting to poke out. There we go. The gas jets are out. Okay, it wasn't a bad test. We did the Gasline antifreeze just here, and 20 mils burned for 6 minutes and 22 seconds after prime, so probably a full minute prior to. It did not reach a boil, but it is quite warm. So given enough fuel, it probably would have came to a rapid boil. But now I'm gonna try 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. That'll be my next test. So this is the flame with, I got a little leak on the other side. It must not be completely flat, but I'm getting lots of flame touching my pot now. Interesting. That is 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. Well, it's 99. I don't know if it's. Oh, now the flames are getting even bigger. Bubbles are starting to form. We're getting some good heat. I think it's a little leakage from around the seal. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Maybe you guys can tell me. Should it be sealed on the pot? I guess it doesn't matter, eh? That is pretty cool, you know, for what that is. It took a little longer to prime. I mean, the flames were kind of small and blue, but I see it sooting up my pot. You see? A white flame is a dirty flame, so my pot is getting a little sooty. And we're at a boil. 7 minutes, 50 seconds, full rapid boil. And now we will just continue to run this timer out and see how much longer that fuel will last. Still boiling at 13 minutes, 45 seconds. Now it's actually 14 minutes. The flames are starting to die down. 14 minutes so far. Okay, well that was the 99% isopropyl alcohol. It was a total success. The only failure, of course, is the dirty flame. So I got 17 minutes of burn time, and it boiled for almost 10 minutes. So that's a long cook for 1 tablespoon of fuel. But yeah, this is the con of this. It gave me some dirty flame. I don't like dirty flame. So I will continue to search for another fuel. Okay, one more test that I want to do. Before I try the methyl hydrate, I'm gonna mix the Gasline antifreeze with the isopropyl alcohol. And if you think that this is some sort of an episode of Breaking Bad, oh, you might be right. I'm gonna boil some gas, see what happens. Check it out. So this is the last test of the day. I've got some methyl hydrate, and I'm gonna give that a quick test. Apparently that's as close as I'm gonna get to denatured alcohol over here. So I'll give that a try. Otherwise I'm gonna have to call a friend who has a buddy and a cousin who has a still, and see if he can make me some really pure ethanol. Anyway, we'll give the methyl hydrate a try. Okay, that's the methyl hydrate. Sorry, the methyl hydrate. I got a fresh cup of water there, and its resting temperature is 20. Why am I getting laser? There we go. 21, 19, 18 degrees. And that is coming up to temp. 180, oh, 215 there. Wow, still not primed though. Just waiting for the prime to happen. Let's see what it looks like in the dark, because that blue flame is quite hard to see. Okay, it's starting to jet right now. Methyl hydrate primed. Took about, I don't know, a minute and a half. It didn't like a little bit of fuel. I had to put in 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. So maybe it just wasn't enough for it. So I got 3 tablespoons in there now. 224, 217 at the top, 163 at the flame, 30 degrees at the base. Okay, this methyl hydrate at 4.5 minutes, and yep, that water is hot, not boiling, but it will be in no time. 7 minutes, 15 seconds, rapid boil, methyl hydrate. Okay guys, kind of a breezy winter day. It's I think it's -3 or -4. I have 1 cup of water brought up to ambient temperature. I have 2 tablespoons of methyl hydrate and my stainless steel jetted DIY stove. Little windscreen because it is breezy, so I'm going to do a real world test. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in there, see how long it takes to bring to a boil, and then how long it'll actually take. Okay, there's 2 tablespoons. Now, get my lighter out. These are apparently inherently a problem to work with in this temperature. Yeah, there's a flame and I cannot see it. So that's interesting. How will I know, eh? That is so crazy. That is so crazy. I cannot see it all. I need one of those infrared deals to see it. So I can feel it burning pretty warm over here. Hey, this would be a great hand warmer. Now, how will I know if it's primed? I can't see the flame. That is a good question. Well, I gotta be honest with you here. I mean, it's burning. I can see the heat pluming on the back here. And I can feel the heat. It's very warm, but there's no way for me to tell when that's primed. You can hear it snapping, but there's gases coming out of there. I just don't think they're lit yet. Yeah, it's definitely burning, but I can't see it, so that's kind of a minus. I almost want a little bit of a dirty flame. Maybe there's something to mixing a little of this with my isopropyl alcohol just to get a little color in that flame. Okay guys, well, that was a simple little test on a little stainless ported jet alcohol stove that I built yesterday. I tested 3 different fuels: methyl hydrate, isopropyl alcohol, and just a gas line antifreeze. Now, the gas line antifreeze, it burned for 1 tablespoon. It burned for 14 minutes. However, it had such small flames. Nice and blue, clean flame, but not hot enough. So it was averaging about 149 degrees. The isopropyl alcohol burned really nicely for 16, almost 17 minutes. However, it had a yellow flame, which added soot to the pot, which is not, optimum. It's not a big deal. And it was 205 to 209 degrees at the base of the pot. And then the methyl hydrate, which performed the best. It was a clear blue flame. It wasn't gigantic, but it was 245 degrees. And the 1 tablespoon of alcohol or of methyl hydrate burned just over 18 minutes. And of that 18 minutes, 14 of it was very good heat. So you'd have 14 minutes of decent cooking time. The boil time on this was, they were all actually pretty close same. So this one was just 6 minutes and 20 seconds. This was 6 minutes even, and then this one was around 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes. But that was only when I added a little bit of this. Otherwise, it just didn't get enough. I think if a guy was to maybe remove a little bit more of this so that these ports are a little bit closer to the actual surface of the pot, you might do a little bit better with this. But for the methyl hydrate right now, I might remove a little bit of this, but I'm gonna wait for your guys' comments because the stove isn't exactly, this got water in it. The stove isn't exactly flush. So I've got some gas leaks. So if you can in the comments, let me know. Does that need to be flushed to trap that? Or is it okay that it's pulling air through? I'm not exactly 100% on how these actual work, other than inside the chamber, it heats up to a vapor and it's forced out through here where it's hot and it lights, it ignites. So, I mean, the principle is pretty simple, but pretty amazing little stove. Pretty lightweight. This one weighed in at exactly 2 ounces. It's stainless. It's going to be bomb proof, literally. And it's a little bit heavier than what I was hoping for. Maybe 1 ounce and 3/4, 1.5 ounces. However, I think the strength is amazing. So anyway, there's the test on that. Please leave some comments on different ideas and different fuels that you guys use, other than the really expensive like heat. That's kind of expensive around here, and I can't get denatured alcohol where I'm at. So if you got other ideas of some fuels, please leave a comment. If you liked any of the testing that you've seen, please give me a like, and if you haven't already, I'd love it if you could subscribe. That'd be amazing. Anyway, thanks for hanging out on this little alcohol stove build. I'm Scott from Realistic Outdoors. Okay, well, I think the hydrate, I mean, it's warm water, but would I want to survive on this? I don't think I would. I think the answer is no. I mean, as an emergency stove, well, yeah, but in the winter, which it is, I'm going to give it a thumbs down. However, I am going to test the Fancy Feast next week. I see that it just makes way more sense with the wicking ability and the flame all the way around. So I just think it's just really hard to get primed when it's cold outside. So it stays primed for a minute and then it kind of teeters off, and just enough to keep it warm. So I've actually had to crack the pot just a little bit to keep flame coming up the side from the center of the can, which isn't right, and it's using up way too much fuel. So anyway, that's the end of the test with this. I'm gonna upload all these videos and the tests I've done, although I might just try straight isopropyl alcohol for this one more winter test. Okay, in an earlier test I did with isopropyl alcohol, you can see yellow flame, and I ended up with a little soot on my can, or on my pot, and I had to clean it off. So I'm gonna just do a quick isopropyl test out here because I can see the flame, and when I can see the flame, well, I know what's happening. Oh, look at that little tornado flame. That is super cool. Okay, well, I will end up with a little bit of a sooty pot, but right off the bat, I like the results better. I can see the fire. I know what's happening. The heat, it's staying primed. This is straight isopropyl alcohol 99. And I put, I think, two cupfuls in there. So far so good. Okay, well, the isopropyl alcohol has brought that to an almost boil here in just under 4 minutes. Not a rapid boil yet, but the wind is blowing the front out, on and off, so it's not as, I should really just keep that as closed as I can. Last test, I promise. Now I've done 2/3 isopropyl alcohol and 1/3 methyl hydrate. This looks like a winner for the winter. I've got some blue flame. It's a little less intense of yellow, but I can see the flame. I know what's happening. I know when it's primed. I can see that the ports are jetted, and I'm getting decent heat out of this. So far, this would be the best test right now. 2/3 isopropyl alcohol, 1/3 methyl hydrate. Much better result for heat. The temperature has gone up significantly with that mixture, and now I'm getting rapid boil, 5 minutes, 15 seconds. All right, that mixture makes me a lot happier for winter camping. Of course, I'm gonna end up with a little bit of a sooty pot, but not as bad as I would think with that mixture. All right, well, that's my last test, I promise, till I get the Fancy Feast. Stay tuned, and I will definitely compare this with the Fancy Feast stove. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate all you guys who hang out, and all the subscribers so far, and I love the comments and questions. So give it a like, and anything you want me to try, anything that I did completely horribly wrong, please let me know, but be gentle. Yeah, I'm only a new prepper. Anyway, I'm Scott from Realistic Outdoors. Thanks for hanging out, you guys.